Okay, in this lesson, we're going to learn how to classify triangles. Now, again, a triangle, as hopefully we already know, is something that has three sides. It can look really different in many, many different forms and shapes and sizes. That one wasn't very good. Let me try what I was trying to do there. There we go. Alright, three sides. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right. And that's what the term triangle means. Tri means three, so it's three sides. But what we're looking for is specifically how to classify a triangle. So right here we have three different classifications. They are an equilateral triangle, an isosceles triangle, and a scalene triangle. Now we'll talk about equilateral first. So equilateral. What equilateral means is that it is all the sides are exactly the same. So if you look at it, if I took a ruler out and measured each side, all three sides are going to be exactly the same. And you can see it really clearly when you do this. When you rotate it, you can see that it never changes its shape. Even though it might kind of look like some of the sides are longer, no matter which way you turn the triangle, it looks exactly the same everywhere you turn it, because all three sides are exactly the same, which is why it is equal, because it's an equilateral, because all three sides are exactly the same. The next one we're going to be talking about is isosceles. Isosceles is any triangle where only two sides are exactly the same. So this side and this side is exactly the same length. And even though, as you can see, these two triangles are different shapes, it still has these two sides exactly the same. You can see again, if we rotate them, how they look different. See how it changes, how the sides are not the same. This one too. Again, it can look any different shape as long as two sides are the same. So it can be as tall as it wants to be, as long as those two sides that I just drew are the same, and this third side is a different length. Or it can be as wide as it wants to be. So as long as this side and this side are exactly the same length, doesn't matter how long the third side is, as long as two sides are the same, it is isosceles. And the last one we're going to talk about is scalene. Scalene is when all three sides are different lengths. So none of these three sides on these triangles over here are the same length. If I measured them, you could see that, or you can just see it with your eyes right now. But all three sides have to be different lengths. And again, it can be any shape you want to. Okay, that's a different one. That's a scalene, okay? It doesn't matter what shape it is, as long as all three sides are different shapes. That's what a scalene triangle is. Okay? And those are the three classifications of, if you're going to classify triangles by their sides: equilateral, isosceles, and scalene. Now, there's another way to classify triangles besides just their sides. The next way to classify triangles is by their angles, or their vertexes. So, as you can see, in a triangle, since it has three sides, that means it also has three angles. On every triangle, there are three different angles. Alright, and we classify them in three different ways. So, if you look at these three angles, there's something special about them. These angles, there's something special. And these angles, there's something special. What it is with this first row right here, if you look at all three of these angles, they are acute angles, which makes them acute triangles. And if you look at these, you will see that instead of all three angles being acute, there is one angle here and here that is not acute. They are more than 90 degrees, so they are called obtuse triangles. And the last one, I think you might be able to tell by looking at it. There's something special about one of the angles there, because this one right here and right here, I think everybody recognizes the box, means that one specific angle is exactly 90 degrees, which makes these right triangles. So, like we said before, there are two ways to classify triangles. One is by their sides, like this, where we have equilateral, isosceles, and scalene triangles. Another way to classify triangles is by their angles. So, if all three angles on a triangle are acute, then it's an acute triangle. If there is one angle that is obtuse, it's an obtuse triangle. And if there's one angle that's right, it's a right triangle. Alright, so again, those are two ways to classify triangles. By their sides, like on this page, we classify them by their sides and their lengths. And this one is how big or small their angles are. They're either acute, obtuse, or right triangles.